Hello Geeks and Gamers, Matt Lipke here with your gamer goggles, gamer-goggles.com, and today we're going to start walking through the box set from Gale Force 9 on the trees that they're battlefield terrain trees. And what we're going to do is we're going to dress this up quite a bit, I think. The trees already are, pretty accurate. They've got like I don't know, that's about a half-inch tree trunk there, and you just put them on here anywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to doctor this up. We're going to add some things, and then over the course of a few different videos, we're going to do some painting, some different techniques. Now these are different pieces of wood from an old, dead, dried out log that I've just been breaking up. This is actually all from the same piece of wood. I'm going to put these all on here. This is charcoal, and we'll zoom in. It paints nice. It looks very rock-like. You can do a lot of different things with it. It looks like a lot. In fact, many times it looks like petrified wood. This piece here has a lot of character, so I think I'm going to use that piece before I use the other pieces. But first, we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue down the pieces that I think I might want as focal points on this piece. And I'm going to kind of set them off in like triangular mode here, just spread them out a little bit. And I'm going to use some tacky glue to glue them down. And tacky glue is pretty good stuff. I'm going to put on the rougher pieces. I'm going to put it on both sides of where I want it. Tacky glue can be thin. You can use it as a watered down version for your terrain, which is actually what I did. Is I watered down Elmer's glue. And again, I'm going to put this on both sides to create a better bond for that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white water 50-50 mix of Elmer's or generic Elmer's, whatever you have to use, and I'm going to brush it on. This is probably a little thin, but that's okay because I'm going to do several layers of different things. And you just brush it on, spread it out a little bit. It can be thick, it doesn't matter because it will dry clear. This is actually a really good blend for just pouring it on the top, which is probably what I used it for. If you pour it on the top, it'll allow for other things to stick, and it runs down in all the nooks and crannies and holds everything together. And I'm going to base the whole thing. Now, I'm probably not going to cover the whole thing with this first coat because I'm using some of the bigger stuff. And I'm going to use actually a couple of different blends of stuff on it. I'm going to start with the stuff that I made from a tree. And then I'm going to move into some of Gale Force 9 stuff and mix it in. And then you're going to see as this thing matures, is what I'll call it, it's going to take a lot of character. The colors that I'm actually going to use from Gale Force 9 on this are, let's zoom in so you can read, the Autumn Flock blend, because the trees are kind of an autumny color. I'm probably going to use some Dirt Flock, which actually kind of looks green in this light, but it's pretty fine. So that'll be one of the last things. I'm going to use the Rocky Basing Grit. And these are all paintable, so they're going to be pretty easy to paint once you put them on. I'm going to use the Basing Medium Grit, and I'm going to use the Fine Grit. I'm also going to use, I have some more stuff that I have of my own mix. This is little pieces of charcoal that are broken up that I filtered through a screen. I do a lot of cooking out, can you tell? And then I have from some of the local gun guys, this is actually corn that they use, corn husk that they use on polishing the brass for reloads, and it has a real nice gravel look to it. So I'm going to mix that in with some of this ground medium, because they're about the same size, and create my own little mix. So without too much trouble, I'm going to go ahead and go like this and sprinkle some of this stuff on here. Get rid of the garbage. Sprinkle it on here like this, just in a few different places. And you can see that I'm going to try and leave a little bit of a path. And actually I already see that I made a boo-boo, so I'm going to make this less traveled path here. I'm going to have a path come here and a path come there. It's going to kind of fork a little bit. In fact, that's what I'm going to do with the corn. And I'm going to do it right now. And some of this medium basing. I put it in a Tupperware container. I'm just going to shake it up a little bit. See if I like the color texture. Makes a nice texture. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it here, kind of like it's a path. Keep it in there like it's been well traveled. Maybe a little bit more there. Now you can tell that a lot of this is going to be loose, and once this dries, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right back over it. Let's zoom out a little bit. I'm going to come back over it, and I'm going to just drip the glue on. In fact, I'm probably going to do some of that right away. Well, that's a good basing blend there. Now I'm going to take some of this. It needs some color, but before I do that, off the beaten track here, I'm going to drop some of these bigger pieces. Just a little, to give it a little bit more character. And then I'm going to add some of the autumn blend, which is pretty fine stuff. I'm just going to kind of drop it in, clump it up in a couple places maybe, try and give it a little more color. You can do a lot of this on your first approach. Now I'm only going to be able to put one or two trees on here, but that's well, you can see it's getting a lot of color. And you notice I'm kind of building up the leaf or the growth kind of around the rocks, because in nature that's where they would tend to clump up and gather. Maybe in a couple of the higher spots. And then I'm going to really quickly take some of this dirt blend and sprinkle it along the edges. See if I can't get the whole thing covered. And give it a good mix of different colorings. Now I can come back. Whoops. See, I just blew some stuff off because I wasn't being careful. I'll come back on my second approach to this. And I will add some moss and maybe some more greenery to it. Now I'm going to grab a brush real quick and clean some of this off. And let's see here. Let's zoom out a hair so that you can see pretty much a finished product. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing this way. I mean, you have, you know, if you zoom in close, you can see a lot of the different colors. There's a lot of different detail. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drip a lot of glue on this right now, actually, and just kind of let it run. But, you know, I can put a tree on here, easy enough, or over here, easy enough, or over here, easy enough. You know, gaming-wise, you're going to knock it over. You can also take the trees off the base. You can nip them off, and you can glue a magnet down there, and glue a magnet on the bottom of the base, and boom, boom, you can glue different magnets all over this, so that you have a lot of freedom to move your tree. And like I said, I'm going to drip some glue on this because I want this stuff to stay. And so what you do is you take your really wet glue and you just kind of go like this, and you let it run all over your glued areas. And this takes a little bit of time and patience. But what it does is it runs down in between all the nicks and crannies, just like, you know, water finds its place, it finds a way. And gets underneath everything and holds it together and creates that bond that you want. The other thing you can do, which some people like to do, is use a spray on this. But I want to change some of the colors and dye some of the stonework and paint some of these rocks. So I'm not going to do that in case it creates a bond or a reaction with the paint when I go to paint it. Whereas the Elmer's glue is water-based, and when it dries, it'll just bond again with the paint. So put a lot of glue on, especially the corn and rock blend, because I piled that on pretty thick. And then what you can also do here is you can take another coat over the top of a lot of this stuff lightly and dust it. This is where you can dust your fine dirt on again. But this is an easy technique you can do at home. It only requires your kids' hobby supplies, a little creativity if you don't have stuff from Gale Force 9 to work with. Where is it? Here's a little bit of dirt. I can just sprinkle that on there. It'll help blend it in a little bit. Same thing here. And then I can go like this again over some of my rocky area, just a little, to make sure that it absorbs some of that glue that I put on heavy, that I did on purpose. And right there, you can see that piece right there has some glue that's sitting there, and it's not going to go anywhere. That will dry like a lump. You can either brush it off, or you can take a little bit of dirt flock like this, cover it up, take a little bit of some of that autumn color, and just dab it in there like some leaves landed on it, and you're good to go. Now this will conclude the first portion of our tutorial on this, and when it dries, we'll come back and we'll film a second part. As you can see, if you've got this base, it doesn't take long. I've been working on it for about 14 minutes, and I've been talking with you, explaining different ideas and concepts for what to do. That's the first one. There is another base that we're going to do, and we're just going to do this one a lot simpler. We're going to put the trees on it. I'm going to kind of mark them off as to where they're going to be with a white pen or a marker. I'm going to set it up so that there's a tree over here and a tree over here, and then I'm just going to do everything else with a an earthy kind of basic feel to it. Maybe that one will be. I'll just do that one as like a summer color scheme. So thanks for watching. This has been a tutorial on how to dress up your Gale Force 9 autumn trees, battlefield terrain. And please subscribe to us. Stay in tune. Check out gamer-goggles.com because we have a lot of exciting things going on. Real soon we're going to be heading up to Michigan for Palladium Open House, and then shortly after that we're going to be heading down to Columbus for Origins. So I appreciate your time. Leave some feedback for me, comments, let me know what you guys want to see. Follow us. I'm going to start a competition here real quick on getting to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm going to give something away, but I haven't figured out what that is yet. Thanks for watching and have a good day.